What's up, YouTube? This is my aquaponics filter for my 125 here. In here we get a couple blood parrots and a couple of these other hybrid cichlids, these Kierans. These are actually, allegedly, I've been told, these are flower horns and blood parrots mixed together. They act just like blood parrots. They're exactly the same. And I have these Buenos Aires tetras. I was sneaking back there. This big old Cenodonis and a couple of Raphael catfish. Of course, he's gonna come. This tank gets a ton of food. These guys love to eat. So, sorry for the glare here. But yeah, so I was doing water changes on this. I had an FX6 on this, and I was doing like a water change every week basically, and I was like struggling to keep it below 100 parts per million nitrates with that. On this setup, I'm able to do the same thing basically. This tank basically hovers around like 50 parts per million, or yeah, parts per million nitrate now. And these guys seem fine. The water looks great, so I'm happy with that. But I have this Fluval 306 canister that is my intake for the aquaponics tray. This is all mechanical in there, all sponge and a little bit of floss goes into here. This is the HDX 55-gallon tote, the Home Depot brand tote. This one was discount because it was sold without a lid, which I didn't need anyway, so that was kind of perfect. I ripped off the whole top 3/4 of it with a little cutting disc and a Dremel and some patience. And I actually took part of the rim of the tote and made these little braces, just kind of cut. I can't really see that with the way the grow light is there. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see. You can see I made these little braces, and there's one over here too hiding. And there. Just keep it together. Overflows over here into the tank. I made these are just again extra parts from the top, just parts of the corners to make these baffles. Yeah, I always recommend doing the long slits when you use the Hygrotin media. If you do any kind of holes or anything like that, it generally just plugs the holes right up. So the long slits is definitely the way to go. It takes a lot more patience, but it's worth it. I got just 2 1-inch PVC just flowing right back into the tank, and that's the whole filtration of the tank. There's just an air stone down the end to provide a little more flow, and that's that. I run, these are 25 watt each LEDs, just the red and blue, not the full spectrum. I think it cost me not even $50 for both of them. And then for the input, I did the same thing. I kind of made a little baffle here, and I just keep some media in here if I need to seed another filter or tank. Like I said, I use the Hygrotin in here as media. I was gonna clean this out because it needs some maintenance, but I figured I would show you guys the reality of some of these different plants here. So this one is Tradescantia zebrina specifically. Common name is Wandering Jew. If you look that up, you're gonna find it's like at least 3 different plants go by that same common name. Spiderwort is another type of spiderwort, whatever you want to call it. Tradescantia zebrina grows like crazy and looks kind of nice. It's hard to see with the grow light here. Let me see if I can get some in this regular white light. It has these really purple underside of the leaves, and I don't know, just kind of pleasant. But it makes a mess in here. See all this scuzz? I was gonna clean this out, but I didn't for you guys, so you can see. This is just obviously just rotting and creating more waste in here. This all needs to be. I've had a busy couple weeks and I've let this go a little bit. Let me see if I can even find. Yeah. So usually I don't want to be getting to the leaves when they're like this and crispy and they just come right off. See, I really have to stay on top of this plant, otherwise these crispy things turn into these gooey things, and then it's a problem. That's actually dead right there. So they do need a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of like getting in there and keeping it clean and preventing rotting. So that being said, this is hard mode. The arrowhead grows faster and is very clean as far as like the way it drops its leaves. You can kind of see this one like wilting over already. I could get in there and trim that off because I know it's just going to die. I'm trying to find one for you that's already kind of wilted. Like here, perfect. So this is how it does it. Usually the plant kind of holds itself up. You can just get in there, break it off, and it's really easy to work with. You can just see how clean the hydrogen is underneath there, and you can see where I need to actually get in there and trim. But I recommend this plant a lot. It grows really well, and it's easy to maintain in the aquaponics setup. The roots are pretty invasive, so it will outcompete anything else you put in here. Another reason I keep this is because it's able to compete, and I just like looking at it, and I don't want to look at all arrowhead, especially under this grow light. It looks very weird. In the actual light, you can kind of see some of the green coming. Sorry, this looks so weird and bizarre in CGI like. Yeah, obviously pothos does well in here, but again, even the pothos is getting outcompeted for nutrients by all this arrowhead. I mean, there's just a forest of it. You can see how much there is, and this all started from one cutting about this size from the store, from Home Depot. I just took it out of the soil in the pot, rinsed off the roots, and just threw it in here. Or the previous generations of this. This is my 3.0. So yeah, let me know. Hit me up in the Discord with questions if you have any or whatever. Yeah, take it easy, guys.